أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين ورحمة الله وبركاته. Assalamu alaikum, dear brothers and sisters, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to our first lesson with the title of Hussein's Starz. These 10 lectures, 10 lessons, going to be about our dear, beloved Imam, the master of the youth, the master of the martyrs, Imam al-Hussein alayhi afdalus salati wassalam. 2021, 1443. We are once again entering the months of Muharram and Safar. In these 2 months, we wear black, we cry, we don't laugh, we don't smile, we don't joke around. What we do is we remember Imam al-Hussein's sacrifice, we remember Imam al-Hussein's masa'ib strategies, and we go through the life of Imam al-Hussein and we learn from his lessons. We learn from Imam al-Hussein messages. Every year we do this. So what we are doing now, we are going to, inshallah, have these brief lessons about our beloved Imam, our third Imam. So who was Imam al-Hussein salamullahi alayhi? And what can we learn from this beloved Imam? What are our duties to this beloved Imam? So what we find is, inshallah, if you go to our website, Imam Ali College, you find there are a lot of workbooks, worksheets, and these booklets about our beloved Imam. Along with it, we have links to some lectures, some latmiyat, and in it, inshallah, you can find a lot of resources learning more about our beloved Imam. So what we can do, inshallah, what we will do is we're going to go step by step together. And if you have any questions or if you want to include something into these lectures, you thinking about, I want to learn about Hurr ibn Yazid al-Riyahi, Qasim ibn al-Hasan. I want to learn about Yazid ibn Muawiyah, for example. Who was Yazid ibn Muawiyah? Don't hesitate to send us an email and ask us any questions you think of. These lectures are for the youngsters. These lectures are for the youth, the teenagers, the ones that don't have any information about our Imam. Now we do listen to a lot of lectures about our Imam salamullahi alayhi, and every year from the first day of Muharram until the last days of Safar, we do commemorate the martyrdom of Imam al-Hussein salamullahi alayhi. We do listen to many lectures all around the world, millions of centers, millions of people, different languages. They speak about our beloved Imam. But there is an unfortunate thing, that is that we do speak about our Imam, but the youngsters are not benefiting from these lectures because they don't know the simple things about the Imam. Very simple facts about the Imam, sayings about the Imam, who the Imam was, the message of the Imam. In the world that today we have a lot of people know a lot of information about Hollywood stars, a lot of information about football players, but when it comes to our Imams, our infallible Imams, we don't have that much information. And why is that? It's because of some of the neglects of some people and some of the shortcomings that we have in the community. So if you look at what we have a lot of information about the Imam, but we have to open the books, we have to open a lot of resources, and we have to go through them page by page, line by line, and together, inshallah, we will have this journey. So if you look at what we have here in front of you, and this is our first lesson, it's about the family members of the Imam. If you look at here, you find that learning objectives of this lesson. Number one, who are the family members of the Imam? The family members of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. Number two, when and where the Imam was born. Number three, what did Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam say about the Imam? The sayings of Rasulullah, the ahadith Rasulullah uttered about Imam al-Hussein. And number four, when and where was Imam al-Hussein killed, and who killed the Imam? Because today, listen to this carefully, there are still people all around the world, and they do this every year. They come and they tell you very wrong information about the Imam. They cannot deny that Imam Hussein was the grandson of Rasulullah, but what they do is they give you wrong information of why did Imam al-Hussein rebel against Yazid ibn Muawiyah. And they tell you, and unfortunately many people in the community, they listen to these lectures, they listen to these messages, and they start asking questions of how legit was Imam al-Hussein's revolution. So we have to come to our sources, and we have to look into our books, and we have to look for truth. And the truth is right here in front of us. So, first thing first, Imam al-Hussein was born on the 3rd of Sha'ban. In the month of Sha'ban, we have many birthdays. We celebrate the birthday of Imam al-Hussein, Imam Zain al-Abidin, and then we celebrate the birthday of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein salamullah alayh. We celebrate the birthday of Imam al-Hujjah. We do have other birthdays that we celebrate in this month, the month of Sha'ban. One of the birthdays that we celebrate is the birthday of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. Imam al-Hussein was born on the 3rd of Sha'ban, after Hijrah, 4th year after Hijrah. In where? In Medina al-Munawwara. In the city of Medina al-Munawwara. His father was Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi afdalus salati wassalam, and his mother is Sayyidat Nisa al-Alameen Fatima al-Zahra salamullahi alayha. And just like his older brother, Imam al-Hasan, our second Imam, Kareem Ahl al-Bayt, when Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam came, Rasulullah, when he saw this newborn, he came and he embraced him, and he recited into his right ear adhan, and in his left ear iqamah. So when Rasulullah did that, and he did it before with Imam al-Hasan al-Mujtaba, the prince, we have taken this as a sunnah, as a tradition, that every person that he has a newborn child, we embrace that child, we hold them, and we recite adhan in the right ear and iqamah in the left. And then Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam called him Hussein. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam loved his grandsons, Imam al-Hasan, Imam al-Hussein. And what did he say about Imam al-Hussein salamullahi alayhi? قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم حسين مني وأنا من حسين. Inshallah, if you go to ziyarah of Imam al-Hussein, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us this rizq. We go to the ziyarah to Karbala. When you enter the shrine of Imam al-Hussein, before you enter to the tomb, to the dharih, you see on the gate, on the door, this hadith written, قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم سيد الكونين حسين مني وأنا من حسين. Very small hadith, but very, very important hadith that I encourage every one of you to memorize. Hussein is from me and I am from Hussein. This is what Rasulullah said about our beloved Imam al-Hussein salamullahi alayhi. Rasulullah is our what? Prophet, Khatamul Anbiya. And this is what Rasulullah said about Imam al-Hussein salamullahi alayhi. And it's very important that you understand the magnificence of this hadith. And inshallah, we will speak about this hadith more in the other lessons in detail, inshallah. Imam al-Hussein salamullahi alayhi spent his first 6 years of his life with his grandfather, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Rasulullah, he loved Imam al-Hussein and Imam al-Hasan, both Imam al-Hasan and Imam al-Hussein, these two brothers, to which Rasulullah used to call them by the name of Al-Hasanain, Al-Hasanain, or Al-Sibtain. Al-Hasanain means what? You can see it right here. Al-Hasanain means the two Hassans, because first one is Hassan and the other one is Hussein. These two beloved Imams, these two infallible Imams. Or he used to call them Al-Sibtain, the two grandsons. The two grandsons. Rasulullah, did he have any other grandsons? No. Imam al-Hassan was the first and Imam al-Hussein was the second. So Rasulullah used to call them by these names, Al-Hasanain, Al-Sibtain, and Rasulullah loved them so much. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said about his two grandsons, Imam al-Hassan, Imam al-Hussein, are the leaders of the youth of paradise, of Jannah. Al-Hassan wal-Hussein, Sayyida Shabab Ahlil Jannah. This is the hadith that we also, inshallah, we will memorize in this month. Al-Hassan wal-Hussein, Sayyida Shabab Ahlil Jannah. Meaning what? They are the masters of youth of paradise. Now, very briefly, is there any other than youth, any other people living in paradise? Do we have old people, elders, seniors? No. We only have youth. We only have shabab in paradise. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala get us to go to paradise, because we need Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's help and we need the intercession of our imams. So when Rasulullah says Imam al-Hassan and Imam al-Hussein are the masters of youth of paradise, meaning what? That means they are the masters of all of the people of paradise. We should know this and we should understand how this is important, how important this is. So Imam al-Hussein is of course our third Imam. Imam al-Hussein salamullah alayh, you can see here on the left of many of these booklets, these sheets, you can find there are activities on the left. The learning objective is on the top. They made it very easy, and I would like to thank the brothers and the sisters, the community that have gone through to prepare these booklets and resources for the community at large, for the world. And they made it free. You can download and you can go through them. So this is a very beautiful way to teach our youngsters to learn about Imam al-Hussein and other Imams, of course. So you can see on the top, you have the learning objective and the lesson itself. And then you can write your notes here. You can download this for free on our website, on Imam Ali College. And then you have here activities that you can do them on your spare time. So let's go through this paragraph and then we can go through the rest, of course, as well. Imam al-Hussein is our third Imam. Yes, we know this. But unfortunately, there are many in the community that don't know the basics. The basics. And that is a very unfortunate thing, that we should educate ourselves. If we find ourselves not knowing something about our beloved Imams, we should sit down and think, okay, what do I not know? And what should I do to learn? And then we can go through it and find different ways of educating ourselves and increasing to our knowledge. Imam Hussein became the third Imam of Islam at the age of 46. So, who's our first Imam? Imam Amir al-Mu'minin, the commander of the faithful, Ali ibn Abi Talib, our first Imam. And then Imam al-Hassan al-Mujtaba, Kareem Ahl al-Bayt. And then after the martyrdom of Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba, our Imam, the third Imam, Imam al-Hussein, became Imam at the age of 46. When Imam al-Hassan salamullah alayhi was poisoned and martyred, Imam al-Hussein knew that Muawiyah had poisoned his brother and that he would continue to try and harm the Ahl al-Bayt alayhim afdalu salati wassalam, and the Shia. Muawiyah killed many companions of the Imam and the companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Sahaba. In Arabic we call them Sahaba. So he killed many companions, Sahaba of Rasulullah, and of course the companions, Sahaba of Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib and Imam al-Hasan al-Mushtaba. And those who loved and followed the Ahl Bayt, Salamullahi alayhim ajma'een. So, if you go to some of our lectures that we delivered many years before, I discussed the peace treaty of Muawiyah and Imam al-Hasan. Muawiyah and Imam al-Hasan, because there was a peace treaty. And Imam al-Hasan al-Mushtaba, in it, he wrote many conditions. One of the conditions of Imam al-Hasan to Muawiyah was that Muawiyah cannot harm any of the Imams, any of the Ahl al-Bayt, any of the Shia. But Muawiyah, of course, he went through all of the killing and the harming and destruction of the houses and taking the rights and oppressing the Shia and the Imams. Salamullahi alayhim ajma'een. So, again, because this is our first lesson, I want to give you as much information that I can. You find in these booklets we have also Did You Know? Did you know? It's on the second page. That gives you a very nice, brief information, fact that you can go through it. So, did you know? Question mark. Did you know? What is that? What is the information we're going to get from here? The reward of going for the ziyarah of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam is equal to the reward of 1,000 Hajj and Umrah. Imam al-Hussein alayhi salatu wassalam has taught us a beautiful dua to be recited on the day of Arafah in the month of Dhul Hijjah. So two informations here, 1 and 2. First is about the ziyarah. Inshallah, we go to the ziyarah of Imam al-Hussein. And the second is about dua Arafah that we recite in the month of Dhul Hijjah. Muawiyah died in the year 60 AH. 60 AH. After Hijrah. AH means after Hijrah. Before dying, he told everyone that the next ruler would be his son Yazid. So Yazid is the son of Muawiyah. And Muawiyah is the father of Yazid. Yazid used to make fun of the religion. Yazid, he loved to drink. He used to love to drink, Yazid ibn Muawiyah. Drink alcohol and play with the monkeys and dogs. He committed every kind of sin and he had no respect for Islam at all. Yet, this person who used to get drunk, who didn't have any interest in Islam, mocked Islam, killed many of the companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, many of companions of Imam Ali, Imam al-Hasan. This person at the time was called Amir al-Mu'mineen, commander of the faithful. And that's unfortunate that a person like Yazid is called Amir al-Mu'mineen, and yet a person like Imam al-Hussein doesn't have any companions to help him. And they forget about the true Amir al-Mu'mineen, true commander of the faithful, and that is Ali ibn Abi Talib. And they forget about what Rasulullah said about Imam al-Hasan, Imam al-Hussein, and how he loved them. So Yazid was living in Sham, Damascus, that is in Syria, with his father Muawiyah. As soon as Muawiyah died and Yazid became the ruler, the first thing he did was to send a message to his governor in Medina to make sure that Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam agrees to accept him, Yazid, as the ruler. Again, so when we recite this paragraph on your free time, spare time, go through this as well. You can find them on our website and read through this. Okay, now let's go back to the peace treaty of Imam Hassan al-Mushtaba, our second Imam, and Muawiyah. Again, in this peace treaty, Imam al-Hassan wrote in it, and one of the conditions of this peace treaty was that Muawiyah has no right to appoint anyone after him. If he dies, the Khilafah, the Caliphate, will go to Imam al-Hassan. If Imam al-Hassan is not alive, this is how it's what's written. This is how it was rewarded on the peace treaty. It will go to Imam al-Hussein. Yet, Muawiyah did not abide to any of these peace treaty conditions. So, Yazid, can he rule the Islamic empire? Can he rule the Muslims? No. Is he anywhere competent to rule the Muslims? Definitely not. So this gets us closer to understand why. Why did Imam al-Hussein, salamullah alayh, started this revolution, this huge, rebellious movement against tyrants? And the tyrant of his time was Yazid ibn Muawiyah. So when you follow Imam al-Hussein, remember, you are following the greatest person after Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and after Imam Ali and Imam al-Hassan. And the greatest rebellion that happened throughout history was the revolution of Imam al-Hussein salamullah alayhi. So what do? We come aboard this ark of Imam al-Hussein salamullah alayhi. So Imam al-Hussein did not accept Yazid as the ruler. Imam Hussein said, no, I will not accept Yazid as my ruler. So some people say, why not? You could just say yes. Definitely not, because every person has standards. We have many guidelines. We have many conditions. We have many rules of who we follow, who is our ruler, especially when it comes to our Imam. Imam knows it best, and he says, no, Yazid is not the right person for this job. Yazid is the one who drinks. Yazid is the one who plays with monkeys and dogs. Yazid is the one who is against Islam. He's the enemy of Islam. So when Imam al-Hussein says no, that means there's something wrong with Yazid. And Imam Hussein does not accept him as the ruler of Muslims. Imam Hussein alayhi salam did not accept Yazid as the ruler of the Muslims. Yazid therefore sent an army to kill Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. Imam was martyred in Karbala on the day of Ashura. Ashura means the 10th. The 10th of Muharram, we call it Ashura. On that day, Imam al-Hussein was killed in Karbala, and his family were taken prisoners by Yazid's army. Of course, we will go through this in detail, inshallah, in our future lessons. So, do you remember Ahlul Kisa? Ahlul Kisa are the 5 holy personalities who gathered under the clock. They are Sayyida Fatima al-Zahra, salamullahi alayha, Sayyidat Nisa al-Alameen, her father Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, and her husband Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam, and her sons Imam al-Hassan and Imam al-Hussein. So, very brief. It was a brief lesson. In it, many information, a lot of information that gets us closer, one step closer to knowing about our beloved Imam. And it's our compulsory wajib act that we should follow. And that is to know about our Imams. We should understand the reason of Imam Hussein's message and the reason of Imam Hussein's revolution. So this is one of the steps that we should take. In it you find, in this booklet, there are 5 questions. And what are these 5 questions? Who are the parents of Imam al-Hussein? Lady Fatima al-Zahra salamullahi alayha, and Amir al-Mu'mineen, the commander of the faithful. Number 2, how is Imam al-Hussein related to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? Imam al-Hussein salamullahi alayh is the grandson of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And remember to say this everywhere, to everyone you know. He is the grandson of Rasulullah. Why? That I should always repeat this. Because when you listen to this and you say, the grandson of Rasulullah, Hussein, Imam al-Hussein is the grandson of Rasulullah? You say, yes. Then how could these people kill Imam al-Hussein in Karbala? How could you harm the only surviving grandson to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? How could this be possible? By who? By people who at the time, these people that came in Karbala, they said that we are also Muslims. They claim to be Muslims. Yet they are killing their only surviving grandson of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the only surviving grandson of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and taking his family prisoners. So, number 3, what did Rasulullah say about Imam al-Hussein? Husaynun minni wa ana min Hussein. Hussein is from me and I am from Hussein. Al-Hasan wal-Hussein Sayyidi Shababi Ahl al-Jannah. Imam al-Hasan, Imam al-Hussein are the masters of youth of paradise. Of course, there are many other hadith that we will go through them together, inshallah. Who was Muawiyah? Muawiyah was the son of Abu Sufyan. So you should know, there's 2 families. One is a family that are called Bani Hashim. Bani Hashim. The Hashemites. They are Ahlul Bayt, salamullahi alayhim. And the person who is on top of this list is their leader, their grandfather, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Okay? After him is his cousin, Amir al-Mu'mineen salamullahi alayhi. So we have Bani Hashim. After him, Imam al-Hasan al-Mujtaba. After him, Imam al-Hussein salamullahi alayhi. Imam al-Hasan and Imam al-Hussein are brothers. These are called Bani Hashim, the Hashemites. On the other hand, on the other side, we have Bani Umayyah, the Umayyads. The Umayyads are who? Abu Sufyan. Abu Sufyan was the enemy of Rasulullah. Abu Sufyan was the enemy of who? Rasulullah. He fought Rasulullah. And he went to war fighting Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in Badr, in Uhud. And after Abu Sufyan is his son Muawiyah. Muawiyah ibn Abu Sufyan, Muawiyah the son of Abu Sufyan, was the enemy of Amir al-Mu'mineen, the commander of the faithful, Ali ibn Abi Talib. And after him is his son, who? Yazid. Muawiyah was the enemy of Imam Ali and Imam al-Hasan. So, after killing Imam al-Hasan, he died. And who came to power? His son, Yazid ibn Muawiyah. Forcefully, without any justification, he came into power. So you see these 2 families fighting each other. In a sense, one is a family, that is the family of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that they are fighting the Umayyads not for these worldly gains. They're fighting them for what? To make this world the world of peace. Because the Umayyads, they want power for themselves and they are tyrants. So we should understand who Muawiyah is. And we will go through, inshallah, in detail about who Muawiyah is. And number 5 is who killed Imam al-Hussein. Who killed Imam al-Hussein? Briefly, Yazid ibn Muawiyah, Umar ibn Sa'd, alayhim la'anullah. This is the end of our first lesson. Inshallah, we will go through in detail in our second lesson about Imam al-Hussein salamullah alayhi, his biography and the messages of Imam al-Hussein on the day of Ashura in Karbala al-Muqaddasa, and some of the sayings of Imam al-Hussein in Karbala for our dear youngsters. هذا والحمد لله رب العالمين وأفضل الصلاة والسلام على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين ورحمة الله وبركاته.